All right, y'all. This is what I know. My name is Sherry Webb. I know I never really introduce myself. Like I never really say my name because this channel is all about what I know. And it's about me sharing my knowledge, my wisdom, and what I understand now at the great young age of 53. And I want to share that with you guys, okay? Um, Today, I want to talk about fear. Fear stopping you, if fear is holding you back, if you know it's something that you want to do, something that's just been placed on your heart that you really feel like it's something you've been called to do, or just something you've been wanting to do for a long time, that could still be something that you've been called to do, right? But you are allowing fear to stop you. Listen, y'all, listen. I remember when I had a blog, I used to have a whole blog. I had like 100 articles on there. And one of the articles I wrote was called Fear is an Illusion. And I'll never forget my son, who is 18 now, at the time he was like 12 or 13, maybe he was 12 or 11. I can't remember. But anyway, he had to stay home. He might have been 12. Definitely he was 12, at least 12. But he had to stay home until his big brother got home from school or got home from somewhere. He had to stay home for, I don't know, it wasn't even an hour. It wasn't even an hour. And I had to be at work, right? And he was so afraid. And so I'm on the phone with him while I'm at work. And he's like, I'm scared. I'm scared. I got all the lights on, whatever. He would kill me if he knew I was making this video telling this story. Anyway, and so I told him, I said, son, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to my website. I told him how to get to it on his phone. And I want you to, and I told him how to get to the article. Scroll down, click here, click there. Fear is an Illusion was the name of the article. And he read that article. And from that day on, he was never afraid to stay at home alone. And the reason is, in that article, what I talked about, what I wrote about is how fear is really an illusion. And it's really a compilation of the stories that we've told ourselves about a particular situation, something that it seems overwhelming, it seems bigger than what it really is. But when you really look at it for what it really is, then you'll realize that that feeling of fear, the 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 overwhelming feeling of fear that you're feeling, is actually an illusion, because once you face your fear head on, right? Let's say you are afraid to speak in front of people, right? um that feeling of fear is actually a real feeling. Like God gave us senses for a reason. He gave us feelings for a reason. You're supposed to be scared if you see a car flying down the street and you're about to walk across. Oh, yes, you got that feeling. That feeling of fear for a reason is to protect you. But sometimes we allow our fear to hinder us from moving forward, right? So the way to overcome it is to face it head on. And this is what I wrote about in that article. I really wish I wouldn't have took my blog down, but I deleted the whole blog because I was like, I'm starting over. That's a whole nother story for another day. But anyway, when you break down, when you take the time to really break down what you are really fearing, or what that feeling of fear is pertaining to, you know, then you'll see that when I say it's an illusion, I don't mean that feeling is an illusion. I mean, because the feeling is real. You feel what you feel. I don't believe in discounting or discarding your feelings. My feelings, anybody's feelings. Your feelings are valid. So if you feel fear, it's a real, true feeling. What isn't real is the story of how big that thing is. Like it's bigger than you. When you realize that fear is really the story that you've been telling yourself. And when you start to pull that story apart, like, okay, I'm afraid to speak in front of people. So what is it about that that's making me afraid? Fear of judgment is probably the number one. Fear of messing up in front of people. And then what are they going to think if I mess up? Okay. So it's fear of something, right? And once you tackle that head on, like, okay, so if I mess up speaking, okay, I'm human, then find a way to deal with that. Let's say that was to happen, because this used to be a big one for me. I actually made a video. I was trying to pull the video back up, but I made a video back when I was doing my life coaching. And the video was called, What Are You Afraid of? And literally at the, I'm sorry, y'all, I laugh at myself because I'm thinking about how scared I really was to make the video while I'm making a video called What Are You Afraid of? Well, I was afraid to get on that camera, to sit in front of that camera and talk to y'all, right? Back then. But what I did know, fundamentally, I knew if I faced that fear head on and just did it scared, did it anyway, just conquered it, just walked through it, walked in it, that the fear would dissipate. And that's the illusion. The illusion is that the fear, that the story, the whatever, the idea of whatever that thing is that you're fearing, of how big it is. That's the overwhelming part. It's like it's so big, but once you step into it, once you go through it, once you do it afraid, the fear will dissipate, because fear is an illusion. It's an illusion. Okay, not the feeling, but the story or the idea of that thing that you fear so much. It's actually an illusion. It's really not as big as you're making it out to be in your mind. You know, I was afraid when I started doing videos back in 2019 for my life coaching business. I was so scared to be on camera, and it showed. It showed. And the more I kept doing it, I was just like, I got to do it afraid. I got to do it afraid. Because I was like, I was being coached. Even though I was a life coach, I was still going through some coaching because I had never been on camera before. Like, I can tell you, I was a mindset coach. I am still a mindset coach. I am still fascinated by our mind and how you can change your mind. I also understand change the way you're thinking. When I say change your mind, it also means change your decision when I say change your mind. But there's so many facets to that arena, but I'm still fascinated by how the mind is so powerful. And if you can learn how it works, how the power you have up here, how you can change your life. And I'm still going through the processes every day. It is never ending, right? But back to what I was saying is that back then, when I started doing the videos for Sherry Webb Life Coaching, I was afraid to be in front of the camera. So I got a coach. I went through a class to help me overcome that fear. But what I didn't do is allow that fear to stop me from doing what I really felt like God put on my heart to do. And that was to speak to the people about changing their mindsets, going after what they wanted in life. You know what I'm saying? Not allowing fear to stop you. If there was a certain pattern of thinking that you didn't, that um, did not serve you in your life, then that's where my focus was, And listen, here was the thing that I experienced as a life coach is people think when you're a life coach, you ain't got no problems. People think that when you're a life coach, when you have your own shit that you go through, that you should be able to coach yourself out of it. Do you understand? Do y'all understand that the reason God just didn't put me here on this earth or just put you on this earth is because we need each other. So in the areas where I'm weak, where I struggle because I'm human, just like you, just like the next person, just, I need someone to help me also. But then God gave us all gifts where we can help build each other up in our areas of weakness. You're strong in an area where I'm weak. I'm strong and my strength shows up in an area where you are weak. You know what I'm saying? If fear right now is your weakness and it's keeping you from moving forward, from pursuing your dream, from thinking outside of the box, which I talk about a lot, get outside of the matrix, okay? Especially if you are like 40 and up and you want to do something different with your life, but you're afraid. I actually seen a video about a lady who was saying, and she was around 50-ish, and she was saying how she was talking about how the oh my God, is it Gen Z? I'm so terrible with that generation stuff. But the people that are like 18, whatever, to 30 or whatever, I don't know, the younger generation, how they may have it right in the way they're thinking when it comes to these 9 to 5s. Because you have to work so hard at a 9 to 5 and it doesn't ever pay you what you're worth. But she was talking about how, and she has her own channel, but she was talking about how she wasn't at this point in her life, it would be foolish to leave her job because of her retirement. You know what I'm saying? And I always say this also, like, I get it. I get it. Like, if you are 40, 50, whatever, and you got this stash built up, this nest, this safety nest for your future built up, and you're afraid of losing it if you do anything different in life. I get it. But I also know that nothing's stopping you from continuing to do your job. And she was saying how it's mentally draining. And it is. A 9 to 5 drains the hell out of you. Like it stops your creativity. That's another thing that she touched on. But I'll tell you what, if you really want something bad enough, and I remember working a 9 to 5, coming home, working on my life coaching, coming home, writing an article, waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, writing an article for my blog or making a video in between. I was exhausted. I was tired. But I was so determined to change who I was. I was so determined to change the way I thought. I was so determined to get out of a 9 to 5. Now I'm out of a 9 to 5. It didn't happen the way I thought it would. I'm not where I thought I would be, not working a 9 to 5, but I'm free. And that's all I ever wanted, was to be free, was to be able to have the freedom to help people, because this is my gift. This is my gift. I am a creative soul. I am a compassionate, caring person. And you can't be a compassionate, creative, caring soul at a 9 to 5. Okay? You can't. And I needed to be me. That pull was so strong on my life to be me that I I just could not go for it. You know, so I did the life coach, and I'm still a life coach. I'm not going to ever stop being a life coach. And actually, a lady told me I need to get back into it because she just poured into me. You know what I'm saying? So you pay it forward. She poured into me, I'm pouring into y'all. If it's something that you really, really want to do, if you want to start your YouTube channel at this age, 50, 40-ish, it's a great time. It's not like if you work a 9 to 5, you can still do a YouTube. You can make a YouTube channel. You can make a video once a week and post it. It gives you something as an outlet. It's therapeutic. It gives you an outlet. You can talk about whatever your passion is in life. If you like to do crafts, make videos about the crafts that you make. If you like to do, I don't know, be funny. You're a comedian and nobody even knows that you have a humongous a sense of humor that just crack people up just because of the way you are. Make videos. Like, just run your camera and catch yourself just whatever. I don't know, y'all. Just I have to take a breath because I get so excited about pushing people, encouraging people to chase after their dreams because it is what I'm supposed to do. It is what I'm passionate about. It's how I live. I am forever going after my dream. I am forever working my ass off to get to that dream, to hold it fully in my hand. And I'm going to make it. And it doesn't matter how hard I have to work because honestly, when you're working on your thing and you're working through the fear, you're going, you're scared it's not going to work. You doubt and you doubt, and you got to have faith. You got to have faith in God. You got to have faith in yourself. But when you are pushing through that fear, you're pushing through that doubt, it will begin to free you. You will begin to fly. You will begin to feel like, oh, it'll motivate you. It begins to energize you. So I just want to encourage y'all, please don't allow fear to stop you. If you want to do a YouTube channel, boo, do a YouTube channel. You cannot care what people think. And that was a big fear of mine in the beginning too, years ago. Care what people think. What if I stumble on my words? I was stumbling all over my words. I had 15 million cuts in my videos from taking out and me looking out thinking it was a learning curve. It was part of the process. It was learning how to speak clearly, you know, and speaking. I still say but it's okay. It's okay, y'all. It's okay. But I will say this, I am way further than I used to be. I am not where I used to be. I am not quite where I want to be. But because I stepped out on faith, because I walked through the fear, because I faced the fear head on, I am able to speak to you freely without stumbling over my words, without cutting stuff out of my videos. You might see a cut here and there, but for the most part, I make a video, turn it off, and I upload it because it is what it is. I'm getting better every day. It builds your confidence. Okay? It will build your confidence. So don't allow fear to stop you. Go get your whatever your thing is. Go do it. All right? All right? This is what I know. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.